Yeah. Yeah. Yo, this is Nick D.
I'm Brie K, and this is Kasari.
You already know what it is, man. It's William Cater.
Yo, this is DJ Lost and Found from the Missing Link podcast.
Hey, what up? It's Miss Hero from Pew Army.
This is Stephen the Levite.
Yo, what's good, y'all? It's your boy YP, a.k.a. Young Paul. You know what I mean? Representing the East Coast, New York, Jersey, stand up.
And you're tuned into the That's Not
Christian Podcast. Woo!
Yeah, we are back. What up, y'all? It's your boy Switch.
Back.
I'm here with your man Jay. I'm here with your boy Ant. And we got a very, very special guest from Grow the Heck Up, a friend of the show, Lavoisier Cornerstone.
Yo.
Hey, bam, bam, bam.
Gang, gang. Salute to you guys. God bless.
God bless, brother. Great to have you on the show. What
Good
is
to be
going
here.
on, fellas? How is y'all weekend? Jay, wait.
No, let's start with
hold on.
Jay. With
Let's
the
start
birthday
with
boy.
Jay's
Of
weekend.
course,
It's a
of course. Birthday boy.
Happy birthday, Jay.
Thank you, thank you.
I seen you popping your collar with the Tesla on the Instagram.
Right.
What you was
right.
doing?
What you
I mean,
did?
that's a very old picture.
Yeah, I know.
Of that Tesla.
And I posted it too.
No, but hey, it got engagement, right? You know.
Oh, it's
Got
all about the engagement. Yeah.
That's right. You know.
Well, I saw
Right.
another. I saw
Tell us about
somebody
that.
else gave you a Tesla though. They gave you some
Oh.
Tesla cookies.
Oh,
yeah.
about
My wife surprised me with she's like, babe, I got you a Tesla. I was like, no, you didn't. And then she goes, yeah, I got you Tesla cookies. I was like, oh, okay. So then we go and pick it up, and like, you know, actually, like, it was the Model X as a cookie, and like, you know, a couple of logos
Nice.
of Tesla. So it was cool. Yeah.
That's
Now
pretty
your
cool.
wife made those, right?
Nah,
No,
has
she
somebody,
didn't. No, she didn't make these. She has
Oh,
somebody
okay.
that makes these custom cookies. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
'Cause we
'Cause,
had
I
her
mean, if she
cake-
made them here, then I wouldn't be surprised, you know, because I would
Yeah,
see it.
True.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
For y'all out there, man, like I've had some of Jay's wife's cake pops. She don't make cake pops, and she's official with the bacon, with the bakery goods, man. She's just really good at decorating them and all of that. She's really,
for sure.
so that's why I thought it was her. I was like, oh man, these are fire too.
Yeah.
So what'd y'all get into, Jay? What'd you do? Did you go out, celebrate? I went to dinner. What?
Yeah, we went to
bought a section out at a club. What?
no. So well, Saturday we celebrated our cousin's birthday, and we went to like a shuffleboard place in Brooklyn. And yeah, that was dope. And then Sunday it was, you know, they celebrated my birthday, so we just went and had like barbecue food.
Okay.
So
A
yeah,
shuffleboard place in Brooklyn.
I know,
That's new.
crazy, right?
New Brooklyn.
Times are changing.
For sure.
Wow.
For sure.
Wow.
Yeah, that place was popping though.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Yeah. Other than that,
Shouts
that's
out
it.
to-
Just chill.
We got Canvas and Clay in the comments. Shouts out to Cal Manning. We got
Shouts
Jay.
out to Mr. Jimmy.
We got Jimmy in
Jimmy's
the
in the building.
comments.
Salute, bro.
CHTS. Salute to everybody.
Facts.
Yeah, so that's what's up, man. We celebrating pagan birthdays over here, man.
You know it. Yep.
Yeah. Anybody else weekend was interesting?
I went to a rodeo, yo. I ain't never been to a rodeo.
Whoa.
Yeah. It was crazy. It was
Did
cool
you get on
though.
a boat?
What?
Did you get
Nah, I ain't get on no boat.
Did you get on a boat?
Nah, I went to go see it. I ain't say I was in the rodeo. I went to go see a
okay.
rodeo, yo.
How did you get into that?
Nah, we went to the fair. We took the kids to the county fair. I think it was Saturday night. We took them over there. So I had no clue that, you know, they, like up the hill there was like a stadium. I didn't know they actually did rodeo shows. So I happened to like walk up in there, and there was a DJ saying like it was about to start in 30 minutes. So they had a little barn area with animals. So we took my daughter to go see the animals, then walk back. It's like, yo, let's check it out. Went, checked it out, man. It was pretty interesting, man. I ain't never been to one. So I guess it's like a rodeo tour. They go into different cities or whatever. So they happen to be there. And it was cool, man. It was different. You know what was dope was the guy that was doing the announcing, like before everything even like popped off, he was like, yo, I want everybody to stand up, bow your heads because we about to pray. And
Wow.
Okay.
yeah, dude went in too. He was praying, right? He said, man, I took my phone out, right? Man, I'm so good. I stayed doing that. I took my phone out. Thought I pressed record. I'm sitting there holding it up the whole time. I ain't record jack, you know, because I wanted to catch the prayer. Because he was going in. You know what I'm saying? He's talking about our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. Without him, we wouldn't be here. He was going in, and you could look in the crowd, and it was all kind of races, and it didn't matter. People from different backgrounds, and everybody was bowing their head, saying "Amen" at the end of that, though.
That's
so
nice.
Yeah.
So did you recommit your life to Jesus and all that?
And the rodeo? At the rodeo.
Kyle Manning says, Aunt, you was rocking cowboy boots? Oh,
Kyle? This guy. Yeah.
I definitely need to pair cowboy boots down here. I went to the rodeo one time. I was working there one time. I'm trying to lit.
What?
Yeah.
He said it's lit.
Oh, it's wild, man.
Like, I definitely need to pair cowboy boots.
Bruh. I saw one dude got stomped out. It was crazy.
It was like that.
Yeah, the dude got stomped on a couple of times. He just balled up
a couple times. Wow.
Yeah, and they stepped all over him a few times. That joint is crazy, and them dudes are little, man. They look like they about 5'2" or something. They're like little jockeys or something. So it was wild. Yo, you know what's crazy? Jimmy, one of your cousins, dude was an El Salvadorian dude was on that. Yo, that dude. That dude, he killed it. He was the first one that lasted like 8 seconds. Well, he was nice with it. So
8 seconds is like, yo, that's the goal. I lasted 8 seconds on
that. It was dudes that got thrown off 2-3 seconds in.
Crazy.
So yeah, it was like 20 Cowboys or something like that.
That's what's up.
Right.
Yeah, I was chilling. What did I do? Oh, I caught some of the Yankees, the sports. Watched a lot of sports. Kind of took it easy. It's like every weekend we always doing something, like going to somebody's birthday party, or there's always an event going on. So this weekend was the only weekend we kind of like really chilled out in a long time. So got to catch the Yankee playoffs. I saw some of the boxing fights. Did you guys get to see Caleb Plant versus Andre Dirrell? That was a nasty knockout.
Oh man, that knockout was crazy. I saw it.
See it.
Wow. And
who else?
Dirrell was talking crazy.
Yeah.
That's what made it worse.
Yeah, he was. And then who else fought that night? Wilder fought.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
That was on the stage. That was the weakest punch.
That's when he knocked out the Dollar Tree Tyson Fury.
Bro, that dude went to sleep off of that.
Wow.
Nah, ain't no way.
He said Dollar Tree. Wow.
The Dollar Tree Fury.
Oh, shoot.
That's what he looked like, right? He looked like Tyson Fury.
Right.
I saw Haney too. Haney fought Kambosos again.
Yo, that dude had that cut in the side of his head, look crazy.
Yeah.
That's from a headbutt?
I don't know. I caught the end part of it because I was watching the game. The game was on. It was like mad sports on.
Yo, did those two women fight? Those two girls, Clarissa Shields and the other lady?
Was that? I heard about it. I think they fought that same night or some other night. Yeah.
Yeah, they was talking about like it finally established. They could just be capping it. It finally establishes women's fights. It was a huge draw. So we'll see.
Nice. I know the last fight we saw with the females was Serrano, who's under Jake Paul's promotions, and who she for? Katie, I think it's Katie Taylor. And that was like a main event that day. So women boxing is definitely on the rise, you know what I mean? Maybe they might start putting them in the video games now.
Wow.
I thought they had them in the video games before.
They did?
I thought so. I don't know.
And what's the name of that game? Oh man,
Fight Night?
My joint. Yeah. Fight Night was the best, man, back in the days.
Yeah, that joint was fire.
Yeah, shouts out to Andrew Cologne.
Who?
Andrew Cologne, he's in the comments.
Oh, okay.
He just said Shields won.
Yeah. Yep. They fought like 10 years ago, a while ago, when she was like 17 or something.
Wow.
And,
Yeah. That's what's up, man. So what else is going on in the world, fellas?
I saw that Candace Owens documentary this weekend.
You saw it?
Oh, let's go.
That's about what Boss did. Come on.
I need to see that. I want to peep it, yo. I want to check it out.
Too.
It's worth watching. I'll just say that.
How long is it? Hour and a half?
If I remember correctly, it's like an hour and some change. It's not too long.
So it's thorough. I'm assuming it's going to be thorough because she comes with the facts. She's, in my opinion, she's super educated, right? Like she's going to come with it. So what was your takeaways from like watching it?
That anybody who was invested in the case emotionally or mentally or gave it some time and was following it closely, it's worth watching.
There it is.
Yo, she she started promoting it, right? And even though this happened, I don't know however many years ago, people, even while I was in the shuffleboard place, was talking about it. That I didn't even expect, they would bring that up. But I was like, wow. I mean, I haven't watched it, right? But obviously there was like clips or whatever. But there was like, and then they got into the whole, was the knee really on there, and then you had Kanye talk about it, and it's wild stuff.
Yeah.
So even today in our conversations in our chat, you guys, you guys were going back and forth on it. Yeah,
it was good though. It's a worthwhile watch. It may not change your mind, but here's what I can say conclusively: like that case was used to manipulate people. That's what it appears to me. So yeah, we ain't go there yet. So
I believe a lot of people been saying that from the jump, even before the documentary, right? Like with just the way it sparked everything up, and then led to more events and more political,
unrest.
Issues. Right.
Yeah. Now, because it happened so while, I don't remember, right? But was this where BLM, the organization, got
that's
like
what it kicked off
their big break or whatever, or like when it went more viral, right? Because they did have
that
Trayvon,
was like
they did have
Trayvon was their debut. This was their platinum album. You know what I'm saying? First album didn't go platinum, but they charted. They went platinum on George Floyd.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah,
this was the lick.
Yeah.
They was out of here after this.
Yeah. Right. This is the one where I think it's like where, a lot of us got suckered into like, okay, yeah, BLM this, BLM that, but come to find out, like, it's not exactly as it seems,
at all.
I saw a clip of Candace. I think she brought up, one of their tax papers or whatever for the organization.
Like 80 mil, right?
Yeah, I mean, we've spoken on this too, right? It was like a bunch of millions of dollars. They just mismanaged buying cribs and like hiring their lovers and all this other stuff. And it's like,
they what? You said hiring their what?
Their lovers.
Oh, okay. That's what I thought you said.
She was going line by line through the tax return, fam, talking about it was used on strippers, escorts.
Nah.
Her brother, the one of the ladies who founded it, her brother was a graffiti artist and a dope one too. He had like murals, like he was ill. Hired him $800,000 for security a year. Never looked like
this. Yeah.
She went line by line. Like I said, it may not change your mind, but my philosophy is: look, if something's worth lying about, I want to know why. Like, it doesn't
right.
mean I'm going to change my mind, but if they're lying, Satan's the father of lies. So if it's worth lying about, it's worth finding out the truth about.
You know what's crazy to me, right? Is that all right? We can whatever viewpoints people have on George Floyd. All right, I'm gonna put that to the side right now. But the fact that we already knew, right? We didn't go line by line, of course, but it's been said a few times the money spent, right? There's been a few articles, whether it was CNN and Fox, about the purchases of the homes, Canada, LA, wherever else that they've had, right? Why is it that no one's speaking on that? Like the fact that they just blowing all this money that's been donated to them. Why ain't no one's flipping out? No one's saying anything. It just gets swept under the rug. A little article, you might get a blurb about it, and then everybody keeps it moving. But realistically, like why no one's talking about it? Why, what I'm saying? Everybody's flipping out about everything else, about what Kanye's saying.
Yep.
But that money ain't go to whoever, whatever, George Floyd family, Breonna Taylor's family. All like, what was the point of them? What was the point?
It was a pastor in the documentary, a black pastor who was in George Floyd Square. It's like they say it's like an autonomous zone, the free state of George Floyd. Crime is up 50%. Joint's horrible.
Wow.
Jeez.
And they got hot cribs in other places like Canada, like wild stuff.
Yeah. And it's interesting, right, that you get somebody like Kanye who he's using his platform, goes on these different shows. Either they won't air what he's saying or they'll take down the video because of what he said. And you have JP Morgan who says, listen, we're not going to service your bank account anymore, right? But BLM organization is still not-for-profit, to my understanding. Like IRS hasn't stripped anything. Government hasn't said anything. There hasn't been any seizures.
Bro, that's wild to me. With knowing that they're misusing the funds.
They still defended it. Roland Martin said Kanye's an ASS. He wouldn't even talk to him. And then he said, I'm not even going to give Kanye airtime. What I'm going to do is, and he brought Black Lives Matter people to speak about everything they're doing now.
Oh, that's just amazing to me. Like, just the blatant. Like, I get people. People get tight. They tight about Kanye and the stuff he says and whatever. He pisses people off. But how y'all just avoid this? How we just sweep 80 million under the rug? Like from the jump, I remember when they were kind of showing how the funds was funneling, the way I think it was secretly, like there was a link when you donate to BLM, it kind of funnels through the Democratic Party. Like it was a whole joint tied to that, right? But again,
and that's the thing. I think Kanye in the Drink Champs episode that was released,
that was taken down
and then taken down, right? It seemed like that was his point, right? Like he's over here exposed because he's in Hollywood and all this other stuff, which is obviously run by the left. He's talking about all these things with his family and how there's different people involved in the media, and like it's like he's kind of like the person that's on the end, right? Telling us all this stuff, and and obviously they ain't gonna like it, so they're gonna push it down as much as possible, right? And like he says, they're gonna deem him crazy and whatever you may think about that, right?
That's the first line of defense for everybody. Anybody that starts talking about anything serious, the first thing they're gonna say is you crazy.
Yo,
like that's first.
Let's get spooky for a minute. Let's get spiritually spooky for a minute and say that everybody that tries to break away and expose them is like loopy, like it's like something.
That's what I'm saying.
Every time Lauryn Hill, Dave Chappelle, but the reason why I said spooky is because it's not like they're totally present, fully coherent with what they're articulating either. It's almost like that's why I said spooky. It's almost like they involved in stuff that could drive you mad. I'm just saying, I've seen a pattern that when people get the guts to do it, it's when they're on the edge, kind of their, like, I don't want to say sanity too loosely, but you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it's enough to drive you crazy to play their game for a certain amount of time, and then when you've had it, you know what I'm saying? Now it's like, oh, this dude crazy. Nah, you fed up.
Right. But what makes you guys think, for example, Chappelle, who's been doing this for years and has always tiptoed, not tiptoed, but he's obviously has said, political stuff, versus Kanye, who kind of now is starting to, voice that opinion of his. Like, what's the difference there, right? You don't see that sort of cancellation with with the comedians, or Chappelle versus
they tried
right
it,
now.
Right?
But that's what I'm saying. They tried, but ultimately still got the special, still got everything.
You know,
Kanye's episodes just get toned down.
You know what I think the difference? I think Chappelle is better at articulating what he needs to say now at this point. I think he really knows how to get his point across now. And Kanye, what I noticed with him, he just shoots at the hip. He just rambles initially, right? He just says some wild stuff. But when you actually finally listen to what he's saying, you know what I'm saying? Then he tries to break down. Now he goes on tangents, but you can tell like his initial tweet wasn't the right. That wasn't the initial response. Like he wasn't trying to really say death to them or whatever. He was just saying like, yo, we need to get our ownership back. We need to be in charge of everything. So he was saying like, yo, it's more of us signed to them than them signed to us. So he just has a problem with really getting his point across. And that's his thing. Like he just got too much going on in his head. So he get into that Chappelle status and be able to speak the way that dude speak, that dude would be real dangerous, man.
So now,
and let's be honest too, is it his money? Because it ain't like people who get canceled got 6 and 9 billion like he do. They probably keep their ideas and go in the closet. He's like, you can't tuck me in the closet. I got too much money.
Yeah. So now Kanye was on Drink Champs, which is on Revolt, and do y'all feel like maybe because isn't Diddy in charge of Revolt or somehow connected to Revolt in some kind of way? Like he owns it, right? Am I wrong or right?
He owns Revolt, yeah.
So I guess he let him on they let him on the show, right? And then it was like now Nori's kind of back. Well, he backpedaled, right? He went on Breakfast Club and then just started backpedaling as far as agreeing with some of the comments that Kanye was saying on his show.
Well, he kind of disagreed with him on the show anyway.
He pushed
you know
back.
What I'm saying? Like,
he pushed
did
back.
Push back some, but I think for one, I don't think Nori really should have to apologize. Like we already know, you know what I'm saying, Kanye was gonna get up there and say whatever he had to say. Like that was the platform. You know what I'm saying? Like I think Charlamagne was saying, oh, why would you bring him on to begin with? Whatever. But anybody asked Tucker Carlson why he brought Kanye on. You know what I'm saying? Like, so, you know, I mean, granted, Tucker Carlson, I think he edited some of the stuff as well.
Right, that's true.
But still, I mean, I don't think Nori should have apologized. Like, yeah, they interviewed him. So what? You know what I'm saying? But again, he said that's his man. I think Nori should be able to. You know what I'm saying? Like, they can have, like Nori push back. They can have a conversation, and if they have different views, and keep it cool. So I don't see the issue.
I thought it was interesting.
You can only be racist against white people if you're black, and you can only degrade black people if you're black. You know the rules. You know what's up.
Well,
the joint is called Drink Champs, and they bring self-professed killers, murderers, and rapists up there to brag about what they've done in their life. But if it disagrees with the narrative, we're taking you down.
And you know what's interesting about that, Voss, is like Kanye just wore the White Lives Matter, and yet he's speaking out against the Jewish community, right?
Right.
After saying that. So it's like, you know, like people don't see that. Like, all right, yeah, he mentioned that, but look at what he's speaking out against, right?
Because no one wants to hear him.
Who runs these networks? Who's the, you know what I mean? So it's interesting.
They're not trying to hear him.
I don't know who it was that he had mentioned from one of the networks, right? That was like, hey, I encourage you to go to the Holocaust and, you know, really think about what you're talking about. And Kanye literally was like, I need you to go to our Holocaust. Go to Plan B buildings.
He said,
You
go
know,
to
see
Planned Parenthood, right? Yeah.
yeah, Plan B, Planned Parenthood. He's like, come check out how many, you know, babies are murdered every day. You know, that's our Holocaust, right? And I was like, how you gonna shut that man down? Like he's not lying. You know?
Yeah. Shouts out to Eric Boston. Eric Boston in the building. Shouts out to DJ Lost and Found. He said, unfortunately, my people don't want real justice. We want momentary appeasement, too easily manipulated, and we don't hold our leaders accountable. Okay. Let's go back.
Did y'all see Farrakhan make a statement about it?
About what? Kanye?
He was like, yo, Kanye didn't say anything wrong.
You know the NOI coming to back him up because that's how Farrakhan be talking all the time.
Yeah, he was like, he ain't saying anything wrong, and I'm here to back you up, brother. He was like, keep saying what you saying. He was like, I too am from Christ. That's what he said on the track.
Kyle Manning says, couldn't be that on point because Kanye was bugging out about the knee hardly being on his neck.
The who? Oh, yeah. I didn't see that. I didn't see the. Go ahead, boss. Shoot.
Was the doc trying to disprove that his knee was on the neck? Is that part of it, or because I know Kanye said his knee wasn't on his neck like that.
They showed the medical examiner in there. He went into it. He talked about how the lethal dose of fentanyl is 3 nanograms, and George Floyd had 11 nanograms in his system.
11.
George Floyd also asked to be put on the floor because he said he was claustrophobic. They showed the picture clearly from the front, and then they showed it clearly from the back, and you're still free to make your own judgment. Of course, it has some persuasion because there's two autopsies actually. But yeah, they definitely showed the testimony of the cop, and they showed a picture, and they say, hey, they asked an officer on the stand, does it appear that Derek Chauvin's knee is on George Floyd's neck? The cop says, yeah. He said from the officer's body cam, from King's body cam, and then they spun around, showed the other picture, and the pictures clearly looks like he's on his shoulder blade. Doesn't mean that what he did didn't cause George Floyd's death, that Chauvin should get let off, but it's definitely not the way it was sold to us. And I encourage everybody to check it out for themselves. Clearly, like, and it makes sense. And when you watch it from the front again, you won't even see the front again the same. You'd be like, oh, I could see that.
Switch, you got to watch it because you were saying a lot otherwise earlier, yo.
Well, I mean, me and Jimmy were having a little debate because he had posted, I guess, the video clip, right? And I had posted some of the videos with the body cam and obviously the people that were there, and they were saying, you know, you're on his neck, you know what I'm saying? Like the dude is he can't breathe, you know? And I think it was something that the medical examiner said, something like, I think he was saying across the lines, like he's not claustrophobic because he would have been claustrophobic in his own car, right? And I kind of pushed back because I was like, I don't think that that's fair to say because, you know, in the beginning of this whole situation, they had pulled out the gun right away on George Floyd, right? Like they told him get out the car with the gun with the hammer pointed, and I was saying, like, I've been pulled over by police for, you know, speeding, and there's times when, you know, maybe I'm programmed or whatever it may be, right? I'm just already like kind of jittery and nervous because I'm around the cops. Like, I don't know what could happen. You know what I'm saying? So I was just saying, like, I just kind of felt like that wasn't fair to say that, you know, he could have not been having an anxiety attack or a panic attack at that moment because you got a gun pointed at you. I mean, I know if I had a gun pointed at me from a police officer, I'm like, what? I don't want to get out the car. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna be, or I might comply, right? I might be like, yeah, officer, whatever you want. You know what I'm saying? But
right.
That was only my pushback. Like, I don't think that that's fair to say, well, he was, you know, for him to say he can't breathe or he's claustrophobic, dude is probably scared at that moment. You know what I'm saying? He could be, he could not.
I don't know if the strap was pulled at first, but I do know that when I was watching the video again, because I haven't seen this in 5 years either. So you bring it up, I'm diving and looking at the tape. It looks like George Floyd was trying to pull a stunt from the beginning. So if it's like, no, I'm sorry, chill, let me stand here. They're like, let me know, come here, listen, let me tell you something. He's like, nah, chill, I'm this, I'm that. It looks like are you on something, man? Foaming at the mouth, looking wild. That already indicates to an officer that I don't trust police. So this is, you know, but that already, I could understand how that looks to an officer. You're already being deceptive and dishonest. Right. Then they put him in the car. He's saying, I'm claustrophobic, I can't breathe. I'm claustrophobic, I can't breathe. They don't say, screw you, you're lying. They say, all right, come here, just get up and just get up. And he said, put me on the ground, put me on the ground. Yeah. That's how it went. And the medical examiner was saying, he didn't say it was justified. He said, but if I'm a cop, you're acting erratic, you're moving around, and you're in a car. Claustrophobia is I'm afraid of enclosed spaces. You can't ride in a car. It's not just because you got, you know, it's a medical condition. You just can't say, oh, I don't like it like that, I'm claustrophobic. But, you know.
Yeah, for sure. So were there highlights as far, because I think Candace Owens was like, you know, this is going to shut down BLM, right? Like that was her kind of like slogan with the whole, this is what this documentary is going to expose BLM. Right. And so were there other things that were talked about aside from the George Floyd incident and the money as well? Was there other things that were in there that were like interesting that probably you didn't know, that you never heard of, and you're like, wow, that's interesting, like I never even heard of that?
Yeah, and what some of the money was spent on. The BLM joke was by large mansions, but it was a lot of other stuff they were spending it on. And yeah, like I said, first it starts, they go to talk to his roommates. Candace is talking to them straight up. They giving their account of who he was. It doesn't seek to, I don't think it seeks to paint him as a character. He did have a criminal lifelong history. And some of that was violent crime and all of that. And I think that, you know, the jury looks at that, you know. So, yeah. It was worth watching. That's what I'll say. It was worth watching. And I think Derek Chauvin should be in jail. I don't think he should be let off the hook. But it was not what I was sold. That's what I'll say. It wasn't what I was sold.
Did you have any doubts? Like, okay, so did this change your perspective, or was this like,
it did?
I want to learn more about, you know, or you kind of had an inclination to this perspective, but you just didn't have all the information, like how she went in with it?
I had an inclination because people were saying that kind of stuff, and I just was like, it's so much conflicting stuff. I just never dug deep into it. But I was sold the narrative that this man, now here's what I would even buy, that he was trying to be like extra with him, that he was being too much. Like he was trying to maybe make him quote unquote suffer a little bit. But again, when I saw the picture from the back and it really looked like he was on his knee, I believe that caused it. They say his heart was enlarged crazy. That's what fentanyl does. It might restrict it. Yeah, so I can't. So here's what I'll say. I did have an inclination that something was fishy because just how the Democrats have had a history of using racism with these incidents. So I came with a bias for sure. But you know, I switched my opinion for facts in a minute. And I saw some facts in that documentary that were kept from me. Like, for instance, George Floyd is on camera when they first put him on the ground, right? He said, I swallowed too many drugs. Again, that's what starts to make it more negligent for them. So this is when I say, like, it changed my perspective, but it didn't make me like, oh, they're innocent. Because at that point, if he tells you I swallowed too many drugs, maybe you heard it, maybe you didn't, he's in your care, you're responsible for his life. He says he can't breathe, they still responsible. You know what I'm saying? Right. And then there was and with this, there was a chewed up piece of fentanyl and meth. It was in a pill. It wasn't entered into evidence. So it's just like, you know, people want to make their name off cases sometimes. So I don't know.
Interesting. Dang.
Eternity says, it's definitely not what we were sold. Didn't they say Derek was racist and had a racist past record?
I don't know. Did they?
I mean, I'm sure that was something that was brought out once everything, you know, starts happening. because that's usually the case. You know, the either the president's racist or the cop is racist, and everybody's racist. You know, race card comes out, right?
Not everybody. People only think white people can only be racist.
Oh, well,
Yikes.
yeah, true.
Yikes.
Eric says something interesting. He says, "What happens to rappers going against the establishment? Now everyone looking over their shoulder if they speak their mind."
So in reference to Nori, because I seen Jimmy said Nori's a punk or something like that for backpedaling.
Nori folded.
He did.
You think he did?
I think so.
Them pressures revolt.
Oprah interview serial killers and Klan members and racists and all that all the time, and it was entertaining TV?
Yeah, yes, she has. Yeah.
I'm just saying.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, cancel culture cracked up on us. So now, they got us looking at it like, well, should he be canceled for that? No, like, I'm just saying, you could disagree with it, come back on, push back on him or whatever. But the guilt tripping that you shouldn't have interviewed him because.
I think that pressure, because now it's a whole different. He in a whole different realm, right? He ain't rapping no more. Now he got sponsors. He got his whole media. He got Revolt. He got all of that, right? And
but then why give him the opportunity?
Because that was his man. He felt like according to him, he felt he didn't think Kanye was gonna go that left, right? He had to know.
Come on,
right.
He had to know.
He started off the episode.
Cost him that much.
Yeah, that's what it was.
He started the episode telling him, he appreciates him coming on. He knows that Drink Champ is a place for him to speak their mind and whatever. Mm-hmm. They even had a disclaimer before the video that says, they're not responsible or they don't necessarily.
And do they always do that?
I don't know if they do
the last one.
Oh, they did.
Yeah. Okay, yeah, and he's gonna say wild stuff whether you agree or not.
That right there should be enough for him to be, that disclaimer alone, letting him know like that's his views, not ours. That should be enough to not have to apologize. Like, we got a disclaimer there. Because I think what he was worried about, because they talking about the Floyd family suing Kanye. Right. And they were asking if Drink Champs was going to be a part of that lawsuit. Right. And that's when he was like, we you know what I'm saying?
Guilty by association.
But are you guilty by association? Because isn't it strange that Kanye said, I was watching the Candace Owens documentary blank, and they're only dealing with blank. If you sue Kanye, why not also include the documentary that he said he got from that he got the information from that's behind a paywall that's monetizing this information? Yeah, I don't know if they want that smoke up over there with Daily Wire and Ben Shapiro.
No, definitely not. Definitely not. Definitely
because that's who's back in Candace. Huh? And that's the daily, and it's behind the Daily Wire paywall. So again, like I said, it's Kanye talk so scattered, but he said I was watching the Candace Owens documentary, but they want to sue Kanye. Yeah, okay, they know who they aiming at.
Right, he's just spitting out what he saw,
which also makes me think like I would be. I'm not a betting man, but I'd be very surprised if any lawsuit came because
I doubt it.
You had to hear about this Candace Owens documentary. Why do you want to sue Kanye now?
Yeah, I doubt it.
Yeah, okay.
I doubt it.
Even that's suspicious.
And we know as interviewers, like, we might have a guest and we don't agree, and it's not going to be a whole debate because we just don't have the time, and we're not a debate show. We're here to interview the person, get their opinion on it, and keep it moving. So they should know with Nori, you know what I mean? Whatever Kanye's saying, that's on Kanye's view. You know what I'm saying? You might laugh at it or say whatever and keep the show going. But what's he going to do? Debate him for a whole hour? Like, nah, I think you know what I'm saying? I don't know.
Yeah, that was whack.
It's just telling what they cancel us for, bro. A dude can literally, like, Boosie really is like, R. Kelly should come home. Like, so it's people's platform to do what they want, but take note of what they decide to cancel black artists for, or anyone for that matter.
That's crazy.
Good stuff.
This morning there was I think right before the markets opened, there was an article that came out that said Kanye is buying a social media site.
Parler, right?
Parler, correct. And which I hadn't heard of for a while. I didn't even know they were still around, to be honest. Right. And it seems to be that a lot of kind of the suppression of media and all that, like it seems like people are getting tired of it. So they're just either going to acquire or just literally take over, like in the case of Twitter with Elon, and just like, yo, enough is enough. Like people want, to get their information without, being suppressed. And we experience this too on our videos, right? Like the second we talk about guns or anything or vaccines,
Crayola
like,
gang.
Crayola gang, automatically our videos are demonetized, right? Like it takes seconds. So what do you guys think about Kanye and buying Parler? Is this him just be like, okay, I need a voice somewhere, right? Because he's banned from Instagram, he's banned from Twitter.
It's like suspended, Elon, I should say. Twitter.
But he's not suspended from Twitter.
Nah, he's not.
Right.
But he's buying it for a reason. He's buying it because of the censorship.
That's true.
Right.
He did say that was the motivation. So yeah.
Right. And there's his text got subpoenaed, and he's talking to the creator of Twitter, the former CEO Jack Dorsey, and he's saying, hey, we need to create Twitter to be an open dialogue platform, right? But we can't do it being public and getting money from advertisers, right? Wow. So but it's interesting how all of these shows that are on YouTube or anywhere else are slowly starting to move around to like these different mediums where they're able to speak their voice and all that. So you have Daily Wire, you have Rumble, and now Parler.
Did you guys see Trump supposedly said that he he's distancing himself from Kanye? He thinks that he needs help. There was a quote of, I wonder where to get these sources from. Like, did Trump say that like live? When did he say that? And
it's a good point,
right?
Because it was just flowing around. So supposedly Trump said that Kanye needs help. And it was something else that he said. It was another word that he used, but basically along those lines, and kind of distancing himself. But no one had no source, and it was just floating around everywhere. And it kind of comes back to that Charleston White stuff, right? When Charleston White be supposedly saying things, or he shot himself in the club, and then he's like, I'm good, I didn't get shot, look at me. Crazy. But the whole media, everybody's just floating around, sources are saying, and I'm like, where did they get this from Trump?
They'll throw his name there and say whatever.
I mean, it could be. It could be true.
He could be true. I think Trump would say that if Kanye had something negative to say about Trump, right? Because there's been moments where other people, they're buddies, but then for whatever reason, the other person says something nasty about Trump, and then Trump hears about it, and he's like, "Yeah, well, he wasn't that nice," or whatever, like type of thing. So,
been there, done that. Says they are trying to do to Kanye what they did to Alex Jones.
That's interesting.
Alex Jones got sued for a lot of money, bro.
What?
I mean, just for saying something. Just for saying something.
He got sued for a lot of money.
He got hit with a bill.
Good. And that wasn't for Sandy Hook. That was for exposing Bohemian Grove years ago. This is a big payback, and we leave that there.
They got him, man. Goodness gracious.
Oh man, that's why you gotta always get Voss on the show, man. You know what I'm saying?
I don't want to get nobody banned or anything. I'm trying to come back myself, bro.
Yeah. So speak on that, man. We seen that you've been going live lately. And so are we relaunching Grow the Heck Up? What is going on with that?
Wow, I like how you said we.
Right.
Right. You know, friends.
Days up.
You know what I'm saying? Right. So yeah, I'm definitely relaunching Grow the Heck Up. I'm coming back to YouTube. Definitely maybe tapping in with you guys for some of your help and resources. I know you guys are masters at this now. I never done YouTube, not formally. I used to put videos up there. I did it once or twice, but it wasn't a platform I was hitting. Instagram, Periscope, I've been there heavy. Even Facebook, sometimes I was heavy. So I'm venturing into the YouTube world and establishing it, going forward. But I'm also going to make sure that I'm on these alternative platforms, man, because they used to not joke, but I used to hear that as a young Christian, like, soon the Bible going to be hate speech. Soon the Bible going to be hate speech. And it's like, we really are there now.
Yeah.
Not all of the Bible, but there are parts of the Bible explicitly that you're like, yo, people getting locked up in Australia or UK for saying stuff. So I'm also probably going to be broadcasting the Telegram as well. Telegram, you can, from Restream or StreamYard, it's one of the platforms you can broadcast to.
And that's a good point, because it's not only directly towards like Christians, right? But it's directly towards Christians, right? In the way the way things
it's like a big chunk of what we believe is classified as hate speech.
Right. So yeah, that's good stuff. I told Jimmy the other day, I was like, yo, Voss need to go live more. You know what I'm saying? I had a dream. I didn't even tell you that you was on DJ Vlad. I'm not calling it a prophecy. I'm not saying that that's what's gonna happen, but it was just interesting.
Let's go.
And this was before you started doing the live. So I was just like, it was just interesting to me that, I feel like because you've been very vocal about Charleston White and in other chat rooms that we've been in, right?
Right.
And some other things. And even though, right, like we'll be like, all right, we agree to an extent, but it's still like that line where you're like, I can't really rock with Son all the way because
right.
And I feel like with the knowledge that you have and the wisdom from the years of knowing you, like you would be the perfect person and the perfect voice for that culture. You know what I'm saying?
Wow. Thank you, bro. Praise God.
So yeah. So I always tell Jim, like, yo, I tell him, I'm like, yo, he's gonna be like, I don't want to compare nobody, but like Ruslan has a very big platform. He's lived off of it. You know what I'm saying? I think there's a very good things if you continue and stay consistent at the end of the day. You know what I mean?
Oh, come on, Bishop. I receive it. I'm serious.
Receive it. Shabbat.
And you know what? And that's another thing too. A lot of people who I enjoy, I don't listen for agreement. If once you're not a Christian, my expectation is mad low. You know what I'm saying? Now I'm just looking for like perspective, like your opinion on this thing. And I end up listening to a lot of people who I can't really share. I'm not totally comfortable sharing it with the world, or they can't really have a good opinion and spin it back around to biblical perspective. So I hope that's what I'll be able to communicate. You know what I mean? With relaunching.
For sure. And it's needed. I mean, you got because it seems like there are a group of individuals that are looking for the opposition to what is being pushed in the narrative, right? You have people like what's the other dude's name? Hassan Campbell, right? Hit him in the leg with the headshot, right? Like
hit him in the head with the headshot, right?
You know, like people gravitate towards what he's saying because he's speaking about the rappers, right? But then he goes off and he starts his own beef, right? And it's like, all right. And so I feel like there's still not that middle ground. There's still kind of like that self-righteousness with some of these guys that they think like, oh, look, I'm not like the rappers, but I'm sort of am. And there's not that one person that's like, I'm all of this. Like, I got God in my life.
Right.
So,
Amen. Praise God. I appreciate the encouragement, bro. I'll take it seriously, man. Work means a lot.
Sure. And we here to support, man. I'm back. Yo, y'all hear it? I'm ready to back Voss, man. Anything y'all need, let's push Voss.
My brother. I'm so blessed by that, bro. I love you.
Sure,
know what I'm saying?
Sure, definitely.
Wow. Yo, shout out to Shaft.
Yes, thank you, Shaft. He says y'all finally got super chats. Praise y'all
we
for
getting money over here, man.
It's been a minute. Hey, listen, every little bit counts. We appreciate it. I mean, look,
on my stepdaughter is Jayla.
Oh yes, she did too earlier.
$199.
Yes.
Let's go.
Oh yeah.
Yo,
wow,
did you give her the $199?
Nah. You know what's funny? Recently on my PayPal, I had gotten like money, like some money hit my account, and I'm like, what's this from? Nigeria. So she's been going live on Twitch. So she's actually been making money on Twitch. It wasn't, it wasn't. She's not like making millions of dollars yet, but she still made money off of streaming. You know what I mean? So that's nice. A blessing right there.
That's cool.
Jayla, keep doing your thing.
Word. But yeah, thank you, Sha, for that, and for our members only, people that support us every month. We sincerely appreciate it.
Thank you.
Your contribution. But yeah,
So Voss, with the YouTube, the relaunch, what's is there a
what you
plan?
thinking?
Is it
Yeah.
still like your steps? Are you still implementing it? Are you like
Are you
Plan-
podcasting?
plan-
Because you had
Oh,
your
yeah.
podcast before.
Right.
You
I
know.
plan on going live here and there, but I definitely want to get a consistent schedule, podcast, audio, redistribute it, share the video, the whole gamut. And yeah, I'm setting up the studio this week actually.
Let's
Oh,
go.
nice.
Yeah.
Are you
yeah.
are you going to be like current events or more on the political side like you were before?
I'm definitely not interested in leaning on the politics.
Okay.
But it gets so interesting, right? Because everything we believe is politicized in some way.
Yeah.
Right.
You know what I'm
Right.
saying?
Right.
Like that's why you can't separate really. Like they say, academics shouldn't interview who? Candace Owens. So it's like even when you touch politics, it gets magnified in some way. But race, religion, music, culture, health, community, hip hop, and the Bible.
The Bible.
So let's run it
Let's
up.
go.
All
Let's
things.
go.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
What and I hate to go back to this. What made you take the pause from going live? And was it time consuming? Was it work? What was it that
It
was
was
kind of
time
making?
consuming and it was producing. Even when I wasn't giving like now I'm on your tip. What you say? You know what I mean? It wasn't taking care of me, but I saw the potential. I saw that people love those shirts. Even still, when I wear my grow the heck up around, people acknowledge it in the grocery store. They wink at me like, "Oh, I like that shirt." And I used to like
Right.
grow the heck up. So without even doing much, it was going far. But then also getting my real estate license. It was like,
Right.
man, I can't kick off a new facet of a career and do both. And so yeah, man, I just want and I'm building my wife up. We work together a lot. She does a lot with photography and lighting. It helps me with social media and other businesses. So I really had to build a more solid foundation before I launch out, because it's easy to click on the camera and go live every day. I can lean on that. That's my strength. You feel me? I just feel like I needed a little bit more life infrastructure, and yeah. So it's a season and time to every purpose under the heaven.
Who, and this is a random question. I didn't prepare you for this, but who would you like to have conversations with? Is there like a list of people that you're like, I would love to have a conversation with this person?
Yeah, but I want it to be like more rotating. You know what I'm saying? I'm interested. I work well when I'm responding to what people are saying and asking. So I don't have a list or a lineup, but I definitely would enjoy having a conversation that's rotating. So I don't have many people in my know.
Okay.
Cool.
Yes,
one of the things to go back to that was on the list that we didn't talk about is Tulsi Gabbard, who was a presidential nominee for the Democratic Party.
She bounced.
Yeah, she leaves, and she makes her announcement on Joe Rogan, who's had his share of cancellations and all that. And she was just straight up. She's like, the Democratic Party just isn't what it was when she first joined, and it just went like completely wild. Now, she didn't say she was going over to the Republican side, but
Right.
It's interesting how what Dems were looking for the first time around with Trump and Hillary, she kind of already had everything.
Right.
She was a woman, educated, served in the military, and policy wise, and you can argue this, right? Was good and bad, but still they had everything that Dems would want, right? But they didn't choose her. So
Right.
now she's gone. So what did you guys think about it?
I'm not surprised. She's been like really critical of the current administration lately. So,
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah. So I'm not.
And she's
surprised.
super big anti-war, right? Like that's one of her main
Yeah.
things. Like she's always been
Yeah.
anti-war. And
Yeah.
now we're on the verge of what they're saying is World War III. She's like, I'm out of here, I guess.
It's looking like it. That's for sure. But, bruh, it's been.
And there's no
nuts.
it's like it's no moderate position on some of these things in the Democrat Party, and I don't, for better or for worse, the conservative side is less Christian than they've ever been too. They out there slinging the mud with so people feel like they can kind of rest more comfortably on the conservative side than in times past. But then on the other side, you got people thinking that the way you were born, you can change. I'll leave it there.
Yeah.
For some people, it's extreme. So like there's like a joke that it went from like just want equality, just want to get married, just don't want you to bake my cake, bake my freaking cake. You hear me? Like, you know what I'm saying? It just got so militant. And let's not forget, half the country still has daughters going to school. And they're seeing their daughters are going to school. Like, wait a minute, I got to share the baton with a boy. So that's still foreign to a very big part of the country.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
It's crazy. Eric says Tulsi as an independent wouldn't win, but could cause a problem. Yeah, sure. I can agree with that.
Is that what she says? She's going to be independent? Like,
she never mentioned.
She didn't mention anything because Joe asked her, "Hey, is there anybody like trying to get at her or whatever?" But she said, no decisions have been made. So we'll see.
I like her though. I like her.
Yeah, she was my choice before. Obviously, they didn't want her, so
of course
I jumped to the other side. So
wow times we in, yo,
for sure.
That becomes hard too, right? Because like if you're in politics and then you're like, I ain't rocking with this, but then I'm not really feeling that side. Is like, where do you fit in, right? Like, where do you?
You're not. So
yeah,
it's crazy, man.
It is. What else we got?
The pastor. You ever talk about that pastor?
You want to talk about that?
Nah. The pastor with the sticker?
Don't talk about that because I didn't even see it. I saw it on the doc, but I didn't.
Oh, nah? Oh.
Nah, what was it about? I think Voss had mentioned it.
He was handing out stickers, right? Was he doing it on like a youth night or like a midweek service, something like that?
What service you said?
No, I said midweek.
Oh, okay. I thought I called it something else.
Oh,
we'll pull it up too.
I put it in the in the private chat.
Cool, I'm pulling it up. Got it.
Yeah, I came across this article and I was like, "What in the world?"
You found it, John?
I found it, yeah. And then I saw Relevant magazine make an article that same day when I found it, and I was like, "Yo, are they watching us
about this?" So what's the story behind it?
Yeah, so it says a pastor who gives kids "I love hot youth pastor" stickers is placed on leave. So
he says, as I read, he says Wall himself admitted he handed them out in an email claiming he was just trying to put fun at what he called "I love hot mom" culture. He added that the joke was a mistake and in poor taste.
Right. That's a mistake.
Eternity says cap.
Right. That joint was a mistake. This dude printed out mad stickers.
He's like, no video didn't happen.
Yeah, no.
That's crazy. I love hot. He should have been beat with them stickers.
Smack with him in his face or something.
Right.
He was giving this to what, like the youth group? Like, I love hot pastors.
Yeah, to the kids.
And then the sticker is youth pastor.
Hot youth pastor. Wow.
I don't even know, like,
wow,
what do you say? The spirit inspire you to give that out, like, where you at, bro?
Right, like, yo, bro, what?
You went to the place to get them printed, right? You picked it up and then you go and you start handing them out.
I can imagine the person's face that they printed on, unless he did it like online.
Hot means sexually desirable.
Sex, yeah,
right.
Correct.
Attracted to, and let's be modern, say physically attracted to. It's almost like I've said things out my mouth where if I didn't have a friend to push back on what I said, I might think it's okay. So my point being is, you got to the point where that you thought that was cool to the point where you did it, printed it, paid for it, picked it up, and then pushed it.
Right. Yeah, mad steps to stop.
You got blinders. You got blinders on, homie. You can't even see.
Nah, that dude got some. He got some hurricane shutters on.
I'm just saying.
Holy crap, dude!
Yeah.
That's crazy.
And that's what it is. Sometimes you get to the point where, I think sometimes people are doing things. It's not that they don't know it's quote unquote wrong. It's almost like sin is deceitful, bro. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of times people don't get caught until they get caught, because he who commits sin is a slave to sin. The heart is deceitful above all things. Guard the heart. Out of the abundance of the heart, the mouth speaks. If the heart is deceitful and the mouth is speaking from the heart, we all can get caught out there and not realize how far from walking righteously we are in some respects. And we all need to check. Sometimes God do it privately, sometimes it happen publicly, or he could just be a complete scumbag scouring through the church. But either way,
like this dude.
Woo. Crazy.
Sheesh. Yeah, that was wild though. Like, I mean, I would love this. They didn't have any reactions from parents or anything like that, or any comments from in the article. I don't think I saw.
But Kyle Manning says, "Are you surprised, especially when you have pastors like Carl Lentz?"
He's still going at your pastor, Jay.
Hey, not my pastor anymore. Jesus is my pastor, all right?
Oh, I like that. That was
crazy.
Oh man, wild! I'm telling you, man, we in some wild times, Joe.
We are.
It's been wild, man. It's crazy. Every day you're gonna find something wild that you can talk about. So right. We can go back and forth all day on.
All the time.
Yeah. So it's crazy.
For sure. Well, Voss, thank you for joining, man.
Word, Voss. Appreciate it.
Do you have anything else to say, Voss? Get off your chest.
Nah, I'll have you guys bring me back, maybe. I'll humbly request to come back with you guys. I always enjoy it.
Man, anytime. You hit us up, bro. Anytime.
Let's go live.
Let's go live. Right.
Let's go live.
That's another shirt for you. That's another bro to heck up shirt. Let's go live.
It should, right?
Yeah.
For real.
It is. Well, y'all, with that being said, we got Psalms 127:2. I said this as a joke to Jimmy, because Jimmy brought out the working hard scriptures and I hit him with this.
Yeah.
So I said, "It is vain that you rise up early and go late to rest, eating the bread of anxious toil, for he gives to his beloved sleep."
Yo, chill out, bro.
Right. Like, get up.
That's hilarious.
That was Saturday too, wasn't it? Saturday morning, he hit him with that, and they told him go back to bed, Joe.
Word, get some sleep.
We were talking about that earlier. Like, we were talking about Elon and his work ethic. You know what I mean? And despite how amazing he is, like he done said in his own words, like, I hate that I'm like this. Like, he kind of like was saying, like, I don't like being this way. Like, it's just work. You know what I'm saying? It's like toiling and working hard, and we grab some inspiration from that, right? Because we definitely want to do that, but it's like, yo, sleep is important, man. God gave us a reason to sleep. You know what I'm saying?
Rest,
so it's super important to get your rest and after working hard. Jay,
the blessing of the Lord. The blessing of the Lord maketh rich, and he adds no sorrow with it. So we don't always have to give up what the world give up to get where they are.
Yeah.
That's right.
Jimmy says Voss was our first guest, wasn't he? Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's right. Yeah.
On gang.
Voss is the reason kind of all of us are connected, because Telegram, right?
Yeah, that's true. It's true.
We always tell that story, right? He's the plug.
Right. He's
the outlet.
I love it.
I love it. I mean, I don't know none of these guys personally. You know what I'm saying? I met them through Chris, right? But you invited
through the barbershop chat, right? Yep.
Barbershop chat. I met Ant on the barbershop and Jay on the barbershop chat.
Wow.
And that's how we got with Jimmy. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
That's dope. Look at God.
Right? Crazy.
Oh, man.
But yeah, thank you, everybody.
Don't feel so bad about coming. Now don't feel so bad about asking you guys for help with YouTube. Okay, that's what's up.
Nah,
we owe you, man.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. Thank you, everybody, for listening, subscribing. If you haven't already, please do so. Go check out the links in the description. You'll find some resources there that will bless you. And also, you can follow Voss. His information is there as well. And go to his YouTube channel. Go subscribe to grow the heck up and turn those notification bells. So when he goes live, you already know what's good. And yeah, we appreciate everybody coming through. We'll see you in the next episode. Have a good night, everybody. Peace, Voss. Stay on. Don't go nowhere.